Ladies and gentlemen, you've read the title of my video exposing the blatant lies and misconceptions about the killing of Kevin Ward Jr. at the hands and foot of Tony Stewart. Basically, I'm going to be making a few of these videos where I will be exposing and debunking all the lies and misconceptions that all the Stewart supporters, the DA, the official story about the reasons why Tony Stewart wasn't charged criminally with any criminal acts, when clearly, just with the video that is available on YouTube and the slow motion versions and the enhanced versions, clearly demonstrate that there was a criminal act done by Tony Stewart that night. Basically, I'm going to jump right into it with the biggest lies and the biggest liar of them all, the district attorney, this guy here, who is giving us his version of the official statement. For this, I'm going to be using the Fox 5 Atlanta video titled "Grand Jury Announces Decision in Tony Stewart Case." And at 2 minutes and 34 seconds, well, let's listen into what the DA wants us to believe here.
The videos? Well, the videos actually did not demonstrate any aberrational driving by Tony Stewart until the point of impact with Kevin Ward, at which point his vehicle veered to the right up the track as a result of the collision. Prior to that, his course was pretty straight.
Okay, so what the DA just told us is that the videos did not demonstrate any aberrational driving by Tony Stewart until the impact with Kevin Ward, at which point his vehicle veered to the right up the track as a result of the collision. And prior to that, his course was pretty straight. Okay, well, let's go see if that's true. I'm going to be using the video by Walt Macon titled, and I suggest everyone use this video to see what happened that night. It's enhanced slow-mo version at 1/20th of the speed. It's by Walt Macon, Tony Stewart, Kevin Ward accident, 1/20th speed slow motion version. And if we go take a look from 6 minutes and 10 seconds to 6 minutes and 15 seconds, just going to fast forward this here. What we're going to see here is that as soon as Tony Stewart's car comes into frame, if you pay attention to his rear wheel, his front wheels, it's very subtle, but it is there. You'll notice that as soon as his car comes into frame, he's already fishtailing up the track into Kevin Ward, with his wheels turned right, basically all the way through the kill. If you pay attention here, his wheels are pretty much perpendicular to the track, but if we play the video between 6:10 and 6:15 and observe the rear wheels, it's very subtle, but his car is fishtailing very slightly up the track into Kevin Ward before impact. And when he did impact Kevin Ward, then his car veered even more to the right. But he was already fishtailing up the track into Kevin Ward with his wheels turned right before impact. He's in a counter steer, basically. So that also indicates that he was on the gas, because for the car to act that way, for the rear end to go up the track, you've got to be on the gas, which corroborates with the engine rev that we hear in the video, which is something else I'll be touching on in another video. So let's take a look at that again. His rear wheels are traveling up the track. His wheels are turned right all the way through the kill. And then when Kevin Ward was hit with the rear wheel, that made the front end of Tony's car go to the right even more up the track. So, you know, you really have to question this investigation for the DA to come out and give us this basically a bullshit argument that there was no aberrational driving by Tony Stewart, that his car only veered to the right after impact as a result of the collision. Clearly that's not true. You can see it in the video. I mean, I think what's aberrational is this DA is aberrational. This investigation is aberrational. I mean, any rational person, when you watch the video either full speed or at slow speed or enhanced or whatever, any rational, unbiased person will see that what Tony Stewart did that night is what ultimately killed Kevin Ward. I mean, we know what Kevin Ward did. You know, people are questioning why Kevin Ward was on the track. Well, basically, Tony Stewart ran him off the track. Kevin Ward was only doing what countless of other drivers have done in the past in the history of racing. Tony Stewart's done it many times himself. When someone purposely puts you in the wall, it's not uncommon for that driver to want to confront the other driver on the track. It wasn't the weed. He wasn't going to commit suicide. I mean, all these Stewart supporters are throwing all these lies out there about every little detail about this incident, and I'm going to be touching up on pretty much all of them, from the lighting of the track to, you know, people are throwing out there you can't see out the right side of the car, to, you know, Tony Stewart couldn't see him because of the car ahead of him. You know, how these cars handle, how these cars steer, that you steer the car with the gas. I mean, you know, all these Stewart supporters, I've been following this story since it broke out, and I mean, what all these Stewart supporters are throwing out there is just complete lies and misconceptions about the whole thing, just to take the blame away from Tony Stewart. I think that's the main reason why Tony Stewart isn't in jail, is because of the support, I guess, he's getting from his supporters and from NASCAR and people who just don't give a crap about Kevin Ward's life. You know, I think it's a blatant case of I mean, this is victim shaming at its worst. You know, the kid paid for his actions with his life. You know, just because he was on the track and wanted to confront Stewart doesn't give Stewart the right to kill him and get away with it. I mean, this is just, I think this is the worst case of celebrity, you know, celebrities getting away with killing someone that I've ever seen personally. I mean, OJ is something similar, but I mean, you know, there's no video that shows you know what happened to in contrary to this case. I mean, what this DA is feeding us is just complete bullshit. You know, I wonder how big the check was for him to come out and not even be able to give us, you know, the real facts and just give us, you know, a bullshit excuse to not charge Tony Stewart. And the video doesn't lie. I mean, what the DA is feeding us and what is actually happening, it's just not the same. And also, the DA also states in his in the announcement that, you know, the grand jury's decision, the fact that Kevin Ward was observed running down a hot track, running down 2/3 of a hot track while cars were still racing, played a big factor in their decision. I mean, don't take it from me. We'll go in and listen to this statement. I mean, it wasn't a hot track. Cars weren't still racing. There had been a full caution lap by the time Tony Stewart came around. And this DA is lying to us again here about what happened that night.
Correct. As a result of the collision. Prior to that, of course, anything other than to determine whether there was enough evidence to file charges against Tony Stewart. They were not considering whether anybody else was at fault. However, I am sure from their deliberations and discussions that the fact that Kevin Ward was observed running basically down 2/3 of the track into a hot track in the middle of other cars that were still racing played a big factor in their decision.
Okay, let's listen to that again.
Whether evidence to file charges and discussions that the fact that Kevin Ward was observed running basically down 2/3 of the track into a hot track in the middle of other cars that were still racing played a big factor in their decision.
Okay. So the fact that Kevin Ward was observed running down 2/3 of a hot track while cars were still racing played a big factor in their decision. Like I said, the cars weren't still racing. It was a yellow caution out. I mean, what was the grand jury led to believe that the cars were still racing? They did not observe it themselves? Do they know anything about racing? I mean, this is aberrational, like the DA says. But what's aberrational is this DA is aberrational. This whole investigation is aberrational. I mean, this DA can't even come out here and try and be credible about what he's claiming when there's video proof that what he's saying is untrue. I mean, you know, I'm happy this is going to the civil because, and I hope Tony Stewart doesn't get the chance to buy himself out of this one. I really want the Ward's lawyer, Mark Lanier, to really rip into this guy and expose this whole thing, because, I mean, it's not hard to understand what happened here. You know, when the incident happened, when the video came out, I mean, Stewart's big. He's got a big following, and sprint car racing is a little known sport. You know, he's got a lot of support from his fans, but I mean, there's a whole lot of denial by these fans about what Tony Stewart did that night. And it's Tony Stewart's actions that ultimately killed Kevin Ward. And this DA is feeding us this bullshit story. And there's video evidence that what he's stating is untrue. So that's going to be it for this video. But take a look at my channel. I'm going to be making more of these videos about all the lies and misconceptions about this whole incident. You know, leave a comment if you agree or not. Subscribe. If you want to hate. I don't mind. Comment section is open. You can say what you want. But don't be in denial. Everybody knows what happened. The guy should pay. He killed somebody. NASCAR, all the NASCAR drivers. I mean, I know the guy's big. I know it can hurt you, but you know what he did that night. He should never be behind the wheel of a race car ever again. That's the worst possible thing you can do. Doesn't matter what lies and excuses people can come up with. He still killed that kid. He still hit the gas, fishtailed his car up the track, and killed the kid. That's ultimately what happened. So, keep an eye out for my other videos. Take care.